Hey everyone, and thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Justin, and I hope everybody's enjoying their holiday season so far. Whatever you celebrate, it's a wonderful time of year, so I hope you're enjoying it. But the most miserable part of the year is the Leafs and the NHL going into a suspended play scenario. They announced league-wide that hockey will be stopped from, I think, today until just after the Christmas break. So hopefully we're able to ramp up after that, but the Leafs are at a 50% capacity, lots of COVID cases within the team and around the league, so an unfortunate circumstance. I've got my own personal opinions on the matter, on the limited capacity, on the suspension of play, but I'm not qualified to be talking about, anything political, anything medical, so I'll leave those to myself. I can only comment on the fact that it really does suck that we're in this circumstance. I thought that we would be out of it after 2020, but we were proven wrong. This is an opportunity, however, with some hockey being halted to just talk, catch up, discuss some things about the Leafs, discuss some things potentially about the channel. So wanted to hop on here and do just that. At the very least, if not, good for any other reasons medically about, stopping the cause of COVID, the Maple Leafs are getting healthy through this process, which is excellent. We've had Mitch Marner out. We've had Ilya Mikheyev recently come back from injury. We've had some other injuries that have been nagging players, I'm sure, that we haven't really known about. So this gives a prime opportunity to have games not happen, players resting and recovering, and so we'll have them back for more games throughout the regular season. Mitch Marner being the primary one, but there are a few on that list. The one caveat to it is that during all those injuries, the Leafs have been able to really play with the cap and the LTIR. And if the entire roster as we have it is completely healthy and activated, well, we're way over the salary cap. We've been able to juggle because players have been getting injured, especially the $10 million that Mitch Marner has on account. So with everybody healthy, once we resume play after the suspension of play, it is possible that we might have to see a move. And while speaking about moves, a lot of conversation around right now, Jakob Chychrun in Arizona, because his name's floated around, as it should be. Arizona is totally in a position that I think they should be moving all of their valuable assets as far as players, especially with the amount of draft picks that they've got coming up. They're just not really prepared to compete in the next couple of years, but they are in a few years. They are going to be extremely good because the amount of first, second, third round draft picks that they've accumulated is just through the roof. Honestly, if I were to guess, they're preparing a push to make Austin Matthews want to come in free agency because they can say, look, how many young prospects we've accumulated over the last couple of years. You join us, you help them grow, and let's see us win. I'm hoping that's not the case because I want Austin Matthews to stay a Leaf, but that could be an angle that they're going for. Regardless, any player of value on their team right now should absolutely be explored moving, and the best one by far is Jakob Chychrun. He's a fantastic left-handed defenseman, very offensive-minded. I remember he got a hat trick last year. You don't see too many defensemen in the NHL getting hat tricks, so he is a very valuable player, and especially because he is on a low cap hit. I'm pretty sure it's only $4.6 million. Any team will want him. So of course the report comes out that the Toronto Maple Leafs would be interested. This is a report from Nick Kypreos, who I think, I've got my opinion on Nick Kypreos as well. He grasps at straws just to get any sort of headline, to get some views. Not the best source in my opinion. Of course, he's got some inside scoop, but to say that the Leafs are interested, that's just trying to create noise. The Leafs are obviously interested, but it's not conceivably going to happen. In order to acquire Jakob Chychrun, again, the team is accumulating draft picks. The Leafs do not have any draft picks this year, and in the next few years, you really don't want to be spending too many of those, especially first-round picks, and I can imagine multiple first-round picks will be involved in whatever trade is able to land Jakob Chychrun. On top of that, young prospects, great prospects. So we're talking the likes of maybe like a William Nylander if they want someone that's a little bit more developed, but I don't think that's really what Arizona's going for. They might be going for a package of Nick Robertson, Semyonov, who has, been sent through waivers and a little disappointed, but the number one prospects for a young player is maybe Topi Niemela. We've got a lot in our system, but people that we really need as the Toronto Maple Leafs, because those are players that are eventually going to come up on entry-level contracts and save a lot of cap instead of constantly bringing people in free agency that might cost a little bit more. You need those free agents, and of course you want young players to be able to develop, and the Leafs are not in a position to just start moving those out along with first-round draft picks for a left-handed defenseman that, again, is offensively minded. I mean, solid defensively, but the Leafs right now are lacking a solid shutdown defenseman because Muzzin and Hall, man, they've been bad. And they are our shutdown pair. We've already got Morgan Rielly tearing it up offensively. Nobody's really talking about it. He's doing an extremely good job offensively, producing, putting up points. We don't really need another left-handed defenseman to do the exact same thing. So Jacob Chychrun talks, it's fun to explore, but not really conceivable in reality. In other talks, like I said, it's a good opportunity for us to have a break in the regular season. And so I don't usually do this throughout the regular season, but I am kind of looking forward to free agency next year and what this Maple Leafs team can do. As soon as the regular season ramps back up, I'm going to be fully focused on this year again and not really concern myself about the future. But I did want to throw out there are a few names in free agency that I didn't really notice were free agents that I'd be quite interested in. And the one that stuck out to me is Max Domi. Free agent, I don't really know if he's going to be moved in this offseason, but I would have to imagine that Max Domi would have some interest in coming to Toronto, considering he's from here, and obviously he's got the connection from his dad playing in Toronto. He's from here, he's the kind of player that we need, he's got a bit of snarl, he's got a bit of offensive touch. You would think after the seasons he's had of recent, he's doing quite well this year, but he won't be commanding top dollar like he might have been able to a few years back. But a very solid third-line player, maybe a third-line center, someone that could go with Kampf and Kasha. You never know, but he is a player I really have my eye on, and I hope that we're able to go into some talks with him if he does hit free agency. Of course, he could sign an extension, but I don't see that being too likely given his circumstances and how he's performed over the last few years. What I don't think a lot of people are talking about as well is obviously we've had some really, really good signings in the offseason with Michael Bunting for 2 years. I think David Kampf was a 2-year signing, but Andre Kasha, who signed only 1 year, one of the big things about that signing was that he's a restricted free agent after this year. He seems like he's been in the league for quite a while now, but he's still a restricted free agent. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it means even though he is a free agent, not under contract, he is the property of the Toronto Maple Leafs after this year. So if he didn't want to sign here or if a deal couldn't be arranged, the Toronto Maple Leafs own his property and are able to trade him to a team that he wants to sign to. He can't just get up and leave if he wants. So that is a huge asset. And I think that, I've heard some people say, oh, there's no way they could bring back Andre Kasha because of how well he's played this year. The Leafs have all the leverage. Either they sign him to a deal that they're comfortable with, and obviously Andre Kasha would have to be comfortable with it too, but if he doesn't ultimately want to sign here, which I can't understand why he wouldn't. I mean, he's playing really well. He's had a bounce back season. He's had injury troubles in the past. We've got a really good medical team. He's playing with his best friend, David Kampf. It all adds up that he would want to come back. But again, if he doesn't want to, the Leafs own his property, are able to trade that contract. So we're set. We're really set up for success next season as well. We can maybe move out some of the contracts at the deadline, maybe move out some contracts next year, bring in some guys to make sure that the cap works, but things are looking good. Now, as far as the channel goes, I do really want to hear from you about what kind of content you might be interested in seeing. Usually I just, turn on the camera and speak and just talk about whatever is either on my mind, if I've got a rant, or if there's any recent news that I decide that I want to talk about. But I like to change it up a little bit and do some other things as well. I know I don't have the biggest following, but I care a lot about the followers that I do have. And I want to make sure that I'm making content that would be interesting to you. I do have some ideas, whether that's hopping on NHL 22 and doing some content with, transforming the Leafs into a, cup contender on GM mode, or I am really, really big in NHL jerseys, uniforms. I love that kind of stuff. It's like one of my favorite things about sports. I know it's weird, but I am a little bit of a jersey collector myself. So the Leafs do have a Winter Classic or a Centennial, I guess it's the Heritage Classic coming up. Maybe designing a Leafs jersey that I would be interested in seeing for that event. I don't know. I'm interested to hear your thoughts, podcasts, guests. Let me know. I want to hear it. Type it down in the comments below. But there it is. Again, just a little opportunity with a window here in a paused NHL season to hop on and just chat. So appreciate you clicking on this video and listening. If you do like it, click like, click subscribe. Please comment. Again, tell me what you're interested in seeing. The NHL hopefully is coming back and hopefully at full capacity soon. I really don't want to see the NHL season paused for any longer or have any more implications because of COVID. I thought we were past all this. I hope we can bounce back and get back to normal soon. So until then, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.